Today?
No. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, November 3rd. We are here for our Economic Development and Environmental Conservation Committee, and we can start off with the attendance.
So I have Trish Bergami online, Jean Fody, John Delarada, Chairman Delarada, Elena Finnan, Dennis Brennan, Elizabeth Greenwood, Matt Yetto, Jamie Piccioni, Heather Walsh, and Dart Share.
Excellent. And do we have anything from the public this morning?
I did not receive any public comments.
Very good. That brings us to the minutes of October 6th. If everybody has had a chance to review those, I will make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that passes unanimously, and that brings us to our resolutions.
So the first resolution I have is the award for the contract for greenhouse gas inventory and government climate action plan. That was pulled from last month. So I'm going to try and have that for this month. And then the second resolution is a resolution making a secret determination on the transfer of lands of the Mohawk River State Park to the town of Niskayuna. That is I did not print it out because there's quite a few pages, but the CAC reviewed this at their last meeting, and they're potentially taking action on the on a recommendation to the town board for secret determination at their next meeting, which is the 8th. So it should be ready for the town board to take action on. It is a type 1 action because I think it's over 200 acres, just barely. And so in your packet, if you want to flip through it, is the first part of the environmental assessment form. The CAC will review it in totality and give you a package of recommendations, but there's the majority of the information is attached to your packet there. But that's Lock 7, Mohawk River State Park.
It said 200 acres. I thought it was like 96. And it's like just under 100.
It's actually, it says it right here. Oh, it's 106. So I think it must just be because it's over 100. I knew it was just over the threshold for the higher environmental review.
It's a good chunk of land.
So parcel 164, parcel 2 is 41, and parcel 3 is 2.3. So it's just over 100 acres.
Excellent.
The third resolution is a resolution accepting a consultant engineer for the preparation of a TAP funding application, which includes preliminary and final design, right-of-way, and construction support services for traffic calming on Route 7. This is another grant that we want to go for. We've been having a lot of conversations with DOT and CRTC about the problem, the accidents we're seeing on Route 7, and we want to change things. And they recommended actually both of the next two actions. One is kind of immediate, like we're looking at the transportation assistance programs funding to do traffic calming on Route 7 in the area that we've had the most accidents by the Ellis Hospital. And so they seem supportive of us trying to remove medians there or try something. Yeah. Bellevue, yeah. And so what we're hoping to do is get a consultant engineer who will prepare that for us, put some design specs together, and then we're hoping to have a small piece of Route 7 funded, changes to it funded by next year. And then D is a resolution authorizing the submittal of a linkage study to the Capital Region Transportation Council for Route 7. And what this will do is we would submit for a long range planning study of Route 7 to really understand how it connects to the colony and city of Schenectady, and how it connects to the adjacent land uses, and use what we learn hopefully from, if we get the TAP grant, to come up with a corridor wide plan to make Route 7 better and safer and work better with our neighborhoods. So D is the resolution authorizing the submittal of the linkage study. It's probably in the range of like $80,000. I have scheduled a pre-submission meeting with CRTC about that on Monday. And so we're sort of doing a two-pronged attack, like long range, what can we do for the whole corridor to make the entire thing better? And then short range, what can we do as a hotspot to help people, help people safely cross that road there and to reduce the number of accidents in that area.
Those are three big resolutions, without doubt.
I'm
And-
busy.
Yeah,
Route
we've
7,
been busy.
Yeah, absolutely. The Route 7 is a long time coming. That's a big tackle, but it's great to see it happening.
Yeah, and of course, it's very competitive. TAP funding funds all kinds of things. It funds sidewalks and multi-use paths, but I'm hopeful because we are elevating the issue so much, and if we can put together a good application, I think we have a lot of good people on our side. So I think it's timely to give it a try.
Excellent.
So the supervisor worked very hard on a letter yesterday for expressions of interest, which we sent out at the end of the day. I don't think I told Elena about this, but it's gonna come in very close to because the town board meeting is so squished together. So I'm hoping we can prepare the resolution and then submit the name. That'd be number C. Yeah, does anybody have any more questions about that?
Lots of possibilities for the Mohawk River State Park. That's excellent.
Yes,
Yeah,
moving forward. I think it's gonna have a good outcome.
definitely. That's great.
And then we are already mindful of a range of grants that we're going to apply for. And I'm already in conversation with Assemblymember Steck about additional funding as well. Not that we're planning to make major
Mhm.
changes to that land, but trail upgrades,
Sure.
more formal parking, improved signage, and then working with the state in the long term for a potential bathroom. The
Yeah.
state has expressed an interest in adding a bathroom at Lock 7. And then I've also been talking with Matt about a bathroom at the Whitmire area. So,
Yeah, make that area a lot more user friendly.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, we'll be in conversation with the residents. So that.
That building that needs to come down, if it's still there.
Yes, it does need to come down.
The education center at the time is what the plan was for that, so that kids come over, talks about the trees and things, is what was there for originally.
Is that the original planned site for the Art Museum?
Well, Dennis will tell you
Yeah.
way back, sure, it was supposed to be like, I think they were gonna have a submarine there and everything.
Wow.
You know, part of the Knowles back in the 50s.
The Museum of Electricity, yeah. That was.
I think one of the articles actually showed pictures of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice segue into our planning board.
Keep on there. Enough about there. Planning. So recently completed since our last economic development meeting, Mohawk Commons. We had a tenant change. Milan Hair's removal treatment center is going in. That's where I think it was batteries and bulbs or bulbs and batteries over up there. Blaze Pizza. 2331 Choice Connecticut Road, the Heritage Group, which is an insurance company, is taking over that real estate office. Right along with 7 there, and then Mott Street East, the old CBD store is becoming Albright's Meat and Company, which is going to be a sandwich shop, focusing on eat in and to go. Stuff we're working on right now is the subdivision at 2890 River Road, or a lot that's in the early stages. Where TDE has been engaged, and we're at that stage of the process right now. 797 Westmoreland Drive is a new project, and that'll be going to resolution this weekend, or this Monday, excuse me. And that's for a lot line adjustment between 2 neighbors. I believe they had a fence that was over the line, so they're gonna just move the lot line to solve the issue there. And 3631 State Street, Mohawk, or Metro Ford, they're changing their use of their, I guess it's a quick change loop center / maintenance area. They're upgrading it to focus on their fleet and trucks and so on and so forth over there. So that's gonna be on the agenda also for approval. And then GE Global, of course, working on 2-lot minor subdivision, separate the training center from the global research. And that is going to resolution for sketch plan approval, seeker, and calling for the public hearing on Monday night. We expect to do all that. And new projects is 2141 Eastern Parkway. I haven't had a chance to look at that. This is new, but it's gonna be a tenant change to a dance studio. I'm not even sure what it is now. Do you know, Laura?
It used to be a dentist's office, and then it was a psychologist's office for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at that and take a look at parking and make sure everything's gonna be okay there. And I won't go over waiting on applicant. There's still some outstanding things. They're just kind of, we're waiting on either the applicant decide whether they're gonna go forward or whether they're done. So we'll see what happens there. Any questions of them? Thanks.
All right, thank you. And that brings us to our grants.
So we kind of just discussed the TAP CMAC application update that's in process, and we redirected to Route 7. The natural resources inventory grant, we'll be discussing at the next CIC meeting. Ashok Ramasubramanian has made an RFP to go out, and so we will probably have to award a contract for that in December. And then the River Road Park Pavilion, Lions Park Deck update. The River Road Park Pavilion is in. It looks very beautiful. I don't think they're waiting for anything more in the pavilion. Do you know? Oh, the cupola, that's right. It's going to have a cupola on top, yeah. So Clark is the one that's been doing all of that work, and he just picked up the cupola, and that will go on the top of it before the end of the year. So that'll look very nice. And then Lions Park Deck, we just received plans that I think are very close to 100%. What we talked about at the last meeting is that we're waiting on them for final. Clark had a phone call with Jim, thank you, for to see where he was at, and they came up with a good plan. So I expect that we might have specifications on that can go out probably January, be my guess. Any questions? For Complete Streets, I mentioned this too. Complete Streets is very supportive of both the TAP CMAC grant applications and the linkage study. We've been discussing the linkage study at the last 2 Complete Streets meetings, and they're going to help with the application. Again, I did schedule that pre-submission meeting. They're also trying to look at ways to facilitate bicycles and pedestrian safety in the corridor as well. And then for Plum Street, I was not here for it, but I heard that there's a lovely ribbon cutting with children from Hillside Elementary School. So I'm very glad to Jean, and I know that Del Chapman was able to attend, and Jamie was there, so that was exciting. I got a picture of it, and it looks very nice. I have seen the sidewalk. Looks very good. I believe it's at 100%. So I'm just doing punch list items with the contractor now, and should be able to close that out. Right?
Did they get a demo permit yet for the properties on by CBS there on Balltown and near Van Court?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So they were yesterday, and we just have to make sure Liz Elena that it's okay to release them.
How long have those houses been vacant? Has it been longer than 5 years?
2.5 maybe.
Oh, is that all?
Well, when the Miller brothers bought them, they did get rid of the tenants, but they weren't in a state of decay only for like maybe the last 2 years. Yeah, they've been probably vacant for longer than that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I hate to see single family homes like that come down, but
And there's still no news on what's gonna happen.
they're still in the appeal process. Yeah. So, Tree Council does not have a meeting in November. We're working on getting our tree saving certification done. It is due December 1st instead of December 31st. So I've been asking Ray to get me some of the trees taken down, trees planted numbers so that I can submit for that. The conservation,
Conservation Advisory Committee, because of the election, we postponed our meeting a week, so we'll be meeting on Wednesday, and we're gonna be reviewing the GE and Mohawk River State Park projects. I think that we will make a recommendation at that particular meeting. We're also reviewing 2890 River Road. I'm still working on that project, and we are going to review the climate smart initiatives as well.
Excellent.
So you haven't made a secret determination on the R&D center yet? So we're gonna.
No, we discussed.
That's right. Yeah. I'm sorry.
because of
It's 3
the,
weeks.
it's
Yeah.
because-
3 weeks is not usually, yeah.
yeah, it's true. The boardroom's closed, so we can't meet in. It's the same reason the CC can't have their meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
It does happen.
Birds are-
That'll work.
Architectural Review Board, when Clark and Jim finished their Lions Park, updates, they're gonna bring it back to them for one more time. And the Architectural Review Board's gonna help with that out. And then we did chat with, one of the family members for Hodorowski, who's interested in possibly having Eastern Parkway return to change some of the facade that was approved by the Architectural Review Board. Let's see how that goes.
Comprehensive Plan Committee, we met with the Complete Streets Committee, and they're working on a draft for that section of the plan that we're gonna look at. We are also taking the open space and recreation part, and we're actively working that part. Upcoming, we're planning to have a public input meeting on November 14th, and basically the structure is we're going to have a short presentation, and then what we're going to do is ask the we're going to break the room up into 3 areas, and then ask the residents to go to each area and basically say what they like about the town, what they would like to see in 10 years, and what is their hot button item, or something like that. And we'll put the stations up, have them work on sticky notes, and then we're also going to have a map of the town. We're going to have green stickers and red stickers, and then we're going to ask them what they like about the town, and they put a sticker there, and then where they think the town needs to do some improvements or do some work. We're sort of taking this, a mix of other communities have done this, and we basically looked at what they've done, and this is sort of a mix of that, and I like that. So at least for these other committees, it's proved very effective.
When's that gonna be?
It's going to be on the 14th, so
Excellent.
there's going to be a blast today.
Excellent.
Advertising.
We need just a very basic flyer, and then we were hoping that we'd be able to get with Jeannie and Jimmy today and get it out there.
Hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have more public outreach after.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one of many, but,
Mhm.
you know, we hope. But yeah, we want to get some feedback.
It's a great way to do it.
Yep.
That's excellent. All right.
So building department enforcement, our part-time building inspector should be starting next week. Fish helped build him a little office, and Seth worked to get him a phone, which was a really big pain in the butt, I guess. Because it was the one phone that tipped over the need for a whole new circuit breaker or something. So thank you very much to Seth. And then Linda's got a whole bunch of work ready for him to go when he gets here. So and then as far as scanning goes, I wanted to give you guys an update. Trish was able to basically scan most of the backlogged building permits. And so our electronic system is pretty up to date with closed building permits right now. So that's very excited.
And Dottie.
And Dottie, yeah, that's right. Dottie helped a lot too. That was a lot of work. We didn't have a scanning intern this year because we had a planning intern who helped move. And so we had quite a backlog. And so, yeah, I very much appreciate Dottie and Trish getting that scanning up to date, and that'll put us in a good place for our building inspector to start and for us to move forward now. Planning department, we still have the outstanding Console Road sidewalk. I did have a conversation with Weston and Sampson, who submitted the original estimate on design, which is very high. And given the budget that we have in that area, what we were thinking of doing is doing a concept drawing. So no survey at all, just a concept drawing that might be able to be used for leveraging grants.
Not enough money for a survey too.
Not enough money for the survey.
How much would it be total?
For the survey?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I talked to him for a little while. He said that they could get me the sub, but he thought it would be over our budget. And
Which is around 8,000.
no, it's like 3,000.
Is that all?
Yeah. And like they said that you could do kind of a concept drawing of where the sidewalk could go. You could use that to get public input, because you can share it with people and they could kind of visualize what it looks like. It might be a good tool to leverage more money to go to that eventually.
Yes. It is kind of expensive project for just a short stretch of land, even though it would link up those two properties from,
The big lane.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would be a nice link. But I think there's the drainage issue by Consol Road there, and then the private property land, and it's a bit of an undertaking, but hopefully we can keep it moving.
Yeah, I don't want to overcommit ourselves because we have so many things that are going on.
Yeah.
But I did take the training so the TAP CMAC, and there's a new part of this program that the federal government's rolling out, and it's the Carbon Reduction Act, CRA, I think. And both the TAP and I think the CRA will support things like electric vehicle charging stations. I don't know if there is somewhere that would be very useful in the town of Niskuna. We already ourselves have installed a lot of them. But if it's possible to get a sidewalk, you are allowed to submit different projects under different parts of the grant. And you can be awarded up to 2. So I don't know. I don't want to like overcommit ourselves,
Yeah.
but as I was working on Council Road sidewalk, I was like, I wonder if we could submit just a tiny piece under a different part of the program.
Because it would cut back on transportation.
Because it would, right, so like
Yeah.
right now, it's very hard to walk down Council Road, but if you were able to get that sidewalk, it's connecting a lot of neighborhoods, so.
All right, very good.
And then for Winnie Road, I was able to get in touch with the owner of the property that we're looking at getting an easement on. They expressed concern about people not being respectful to their private property. They've had issues with trespassers before. So they definitely were a little hesitant, but they said to go ahead and prepare a formal letter and they'll review. One of the things I said is that they're very, if they've had problems with trespassing, and people not respecting private property, maybe if we do have a formal easement, we can kind of delineate where people can walk versus where they can't, and maybe that'll make the trespassing better. So, I mean, better in that it doesn't happen as much. So more to come on that. I'll see if we can have a conversation with them about what we can do over there.
All right. Anything from Miss Finnan?
We already talked about BR Holdings, that's something I'm working on, and then the other thing we think right now is everyone with Christian and the vacant property list, and which ones we have people who have just been non-responsive to being notified that their property is vacant and that they need to register. So Ken and I worked on drafting a notice in order and kind of went through the list to figure out which ones would, based on what's been returned versus not returned mail and that kind of stuff, which ones we can focus on doing a notice in order on. So I anticipate we'll have some of those probably going through court soon.
Okay. And from the historical side?
Well, not much really, but we hope to the Preservation Commission hopes to finalize the inventory at the Stark Hall on Tuesday. We pretty much got it fine. It's something we have to do annually or add homes to it annually. I'm aware of homes that could be on the historical list.
How do we define a historic home? What's the definition?
Basically, the definition we're using is any home that was on the 85 inventory. They did an inventory in 85, and any home built before 1900. I already know a home that's built after 1900 probably should be on the list too. So it's just to provide a foundation to start with, and then as we become aware of other homes, we'll add them to them. I don't know why in 85 there were, I don't know how many homes, probably 60 homes built before 1900 that weren't on that list for any reason. I don't know if it was because they approached people and people said, "Oh, we don't want you coming to my house." Anyway, we're going to hopefully finalize that list, formalize that list. And then Wednesday, we're going to hopefully finish working on the RFP for the graphic artist. At that moment, yeah. Graphic artist for the logo.
I have to look back at our code, but when you guys have a list, even though it's going to be a working list, of the historic homes. Is that something that should be adopted by the town board? I can't remember the code off the top of my head. You don't think so, Lana? I have to look. Oh, okay.
I forget exactly what it says in the resolution creating, but we do have to hand it in to the town. It has to be inventory. It has to be kept at the town. I was assuming it would go to the clerk.
Yeah, as long as because I do think it'd be super helpful to formalize that in some way, because you and I talked about this all the time, but we've been penalized before for not having like on the list. So,
Yeah, and I think we were gonna point to it definitely in the pump.
yeah, the government's plan, yep.
How many homes do you think we have around pre-1900?
I'd be guessing off the top of my head, but I think there's 160 or 164 on the list.
So that many?
Wow.
Very good. Is there anything else for the good of the order? I will make a motion to adjourn. All in favor? And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Actually, Dennis, that was really interesting about you said I was going through. I didn't realize that there were so many things.
On the 85 list?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a tremendous amount.